Yo, we locked in. It's due season. Man, look, today, kind of want to talk back about semen retention, man, and no fap and, dealing with porn addiction and things like that. One thing you got to understand is that this world is filled with distraction. This world is filled with things to take you away from your path, you know, away from what you know you need to do, away from your true vitality, away from your true essence as a man. Um, and we wonder why people are into so many different new things, why people are falling into different traps, why families are being broken up, why, you know, um, the structure of a man is not as strong as it used to be. It's because we have sensory overload. Sensory overload and, you know, just the just the way the society gets swayed to do certain things, right? We come up on social media and have all these challenges, and people just fall right in line, and they just you know give in. They don't even know they're giving in. They just willingly just you know frolic all over the place, right? So look, as a man that wants to be his best self, that wants to be, you know, at his most strongest mentally and physically and spiritually, um, you got to learn how to stay away from from the distractions of the world. You got to learn how to have tunnel vision, right? Um, when it comes to semen retention, right? Everybody talks about the superpowers it gives you and all of that. Well, the superpower is built through the discipline, and you know when you're retaining, one of the ways to stay retaining, right, is first um, denying yourself the pleasures of a female. Okay, uh, sometimes you need to be by yourself, take inventory of your own life, and see where you need to go. Before you can add someone to your life, you need to see where you need to go first, right? Because you can't really see it when you got somebody else taking your time. Now, eventually, once you've created the life you wanted, or that you want to have, and you have a blueprint laid out, and you're sticking to your course, then you can add someone to your life. But you know, sometimes you just gotta just get on the path of just being on that lonesome path. I don't mean being lonely. I mean being alone, purposely alone, alone with purpose. Um, making sure you're building up your credit, making sure you're building up your finances, making sure that you're in the gym, making sure you're eating healthy, um, making sure that you're getting your spirit mind right. You know, all of those things are something that you need to do first. You gotta build up the strength and the discipline. If you're a disciplined man, you can have a disciplined relationship. You can find the right type of woman. You can't find the right woman if you're not the right man. you just That is just how it goes. Like, a lot of times we wonder why our relationships suck and why we choose to do wrong in our relationships, or why somebody else chooses to do wrong on us in relationships. It's really because you're not in your right place. You're not in your right place. You're not doing what you need to be doing. So if you're not equipped to be in a relationship, what makes you think that your relationship is going to thrive? What makes you think that? It's not going to happen. So we got to learn how to use semen retention for the benefits of enhancement, right? Um, Staying focused, you know, giving thanks to the Most High, things like that. Like you gotta realize what's keeping you here and what's keeping you strong. And you know, and then dealing with like porn, right? And when I was heavily into porn, and when I say heavily, it wasn't like an everyday thing, but it was heavily to me because I went from not watching porn at all to, watching porn 2 or 3 times a week. And I used to be like, it's not an addiction, nah. So if it wasn't, and I always felt bad after I fapped and and the fact that I was watching porn, and I had to realize like, wait a minute, if I'm feeling like this, why would I keep doing this, right? And so I realized maybe I did have a slight addiction to it, maybe it was taking a hold of me because you like what you see and things like that. But then I had to really shape my mind in a different way. I had to realize like this is weird. Watching porn is weird. I'm sorry to tell you guys, it's really weird. It's weird to sit up and watch somebody have sex. If you and your friend, right? If you live with your roommate, you got a roommate, and one of your homies got a girlfriend, and he brings his girl over, he getting inside her. Do you really think it's cool for you to watch them? And why not if you watch porn? You got to think about these things. You really got to think about, like, would you watch somebody have sex in person? So why would you watch it on the screen? Because it's weird. It's weird. It's weird energy to be in a room with somebody while they're having sex. So why would you watch it on your actual phone or your computer and then be sitting there jerking your monkey off? It just is what it is, right? And I had to come to that realization, like, man, what am I really doing? What am I really doing? Like, just to get a quick, nut off? Is it really worth it? And you feel terrible. It makes you more depressed. It doesn't do anything for you, man. They say that, when you ejaculate a lot, it lowers your testosterone, and it makes sense because, you start performing worse when you masturbate more, okay? Like, you can't hold your erections as long. You can't last as long in the bed. These are just part of some of the side effects of fapping, right? And you got to learn how to shape your mind in a different way. And also watching the porn itself is one of the things that is tainting your sexual life, right? With your wife, with your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. Watching the porn, you starting to envision the people that you're seeing on the screen just to get your rocks off. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And then you may get to the point where you need porn to get you revved up to even have sex with a human, with an actual human, an actual woman that's laying next to you. And if you get to that point, it's really time to dial it back. Seriously. It's really time to dial it back. And so these are some of the things you should think about as you are on this journey of no fap, no porn, and semen retention, right? What kind of strength will you be able to build up by staying away from it? Getting rid of the sensory overload of lusting and sexual pleasures, because think about it. A lot of times, you get distracted from things like that when you could be doing something productive, when you could be doing something that's going to help you advance your life, when you could be doing something that's going to increase your income, increase your value as a man, as a person. And, it just is what it is, man. And my wife was telling me about this. She was getting her hair done, and one of the lady who was doing her hair, her her friend's daughter was caught, you know, watching porn at 12 years old. And that's devastating because what you're doing to a child's mind, they're not fully developed yet. And, now she's now thinking about sex all the time. And this is a girl. So imagine if it's a little boy. He'll, starting to masturbate at early ages and things like that. You become overly sexualized, and you don't know what else you may fall into, what else you may get into, and what else you may start liking, right? And I just had to start thinking like, man, even some of my friends, they'll be like, man, man, your boy, I know your son might be watching porn. I'm like, no, I'm not. We don't let. First of all, I'm not saying I don't know exactly. My son is 13, so I don't know exactly what he's doing all the time, but he doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a computer in his room. We try to keep things at bay so that we can limit his access to certain things. Limit, I know kids will find a way to do whatever they want to do, but I want to give him a chance in life to start off his path on the right path, because I wasn't doing that when I was 13. I wasn't jacking off, I wasn't fapping. It just wasn't what I was doing, and that's why I'm telling you, man. When I was really in my journey as a younger guy, in my teens and early 20s, man, before I used the term semen retention, man, I was on my path, man. I'm telling you, everything was clicking on all cylinders, and I didn't realize what the purpose was. I mean, I didn't realize the reason, but as I got older, I started thinking about it. Man, I was a more disciplined person. I was 7% body fat, things like that. The strength was there. I'm talking about benching almost 300 at 170 pounds when I was like 19. With 7% body fat. Like, those are the things, and I wasn't, having sex at the time. So you got to look, that strength, that testosterone, all of that stuff is important, in your growth. And then even through a relationship, you want to be able to have, control. You don't always have to have sex just because you're in a relationship. You do need a healthy sex life. But, hey, if you want to practice semen retention in a relationship, you got to talk to your partner and let her know, like, hey, I'm trying to get better. And she will respect it if you present it to her in a certain way. Women feed off emotions, and they think, their minds start racing. That maybe they're not that desirable anymore because you don't want to do certain things. But sometimes you got to take a step back just to improve yourself. And if they can't get with that, yeah, you need to rethink some things. Don't give in just because of somebody else's own agenda, right? You got to think about yourself and think about how it's going to enhance your life and what you want to do. So, and I believe all of these things, man, especially staying away from porn and jacking off, man, like, just, you got to just stop that, period. Like, ain't no room for that. There's no, like, no room for doing that. Seriously. It's just, you just got to think about what you're doing. Like, really, like, I am watching somebody else have sex. You might as well just have sex yourself. Why would you just watch that? and guys that's out here, they have problems in their dating life, and they can't get women. Stop watching porn. Like, cold turkey right now. And I guarantee you, your attraction level will rise. Women will find you more attractive because you're not a creep. I'm telling you. You know, your alpha senses will start coming back to you, or start coming to you. Um, get in the gym, get strong, build some confidence up. You know, these are some of the things you need to do in order to understand who you are and what you want to be. You can't let those distractions get to you, man. You know, all these, what they call those incels or involuntary celibate guys, like, if you really want a woman, you got to think about what you're doing. First of all, you shouldn't join no incel groups, because what all that's gonna do is enrage you when it comes to women. You know, incels become rapists. Some of them incels become rapists because they have aggression towards women. They think they're victims. They victimize themselves in order to, you know, validate some of the ways they feel. That's a dangerous place to be in. Man, get some confidence about yourself. Get some manhood about yourself. Get some testosterone. Raise it up. You know what I'm saying? Stop watching porn. You know, stop fapping. And read a book. Get your mind off certain things, man. Fill your life with fruitful things that grow in order to get your mind off the bullshit. Period. That's all I'm gonna say. It's, you know, kind of a long video. Man, hit that like button, subscribe. I know I waited too long in the video to tell you this, but hey, if you like the content, you like the content. I will be back. Peace.